Planning your day is one of the most important things that you can do to make your day easier. Brian Tracy says that every minute you spend planning saves 10 minutes in execution. So today I wanted to talk about some things that you can do to increase productivity with your planner. These are things that I have applied to my overall planning that has helped me tremendously when it comes down to planning my day better and being more productive with my planner. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I did in order to increase the productivity of my planner is add a small little notebook that I carry around with my planner at all times. This is mainly like my daily notebook. I was trying to use a completely separate planner for this process, but I realized that it was becoming too much because sometimes I need it and sometimes I don't. I mainly use this small notebook whenever I am having a super busy day or I am in meetings where I need to jot down some things that are coming up. So I will add the day of the week and then the date at the very top of my notebook page, and then I will write down a bunch of other things. It could be my master to-do list. I might be brain dumping different things that are coming up, and then usually I will also keep track of different notes from different meetings. I am in meetings for a majority of my day. I have a lot of Zoom meetings throughout the day, so having one central spot where I can come back and look at all of the notes from those meetings is very helpful. And I found that when I was trying to do it within my planner, a lot of times I needed to reference my planner for other things, and having a space where I needed to jot down notes and reference my planner, it wasn't working all in the same spot. So having this small little notebook is super helpful because I can have my planner open so I can see the different things that are going on with my schedule and also write down notes at the same time. Another way that I use this notebook is to store any information that I'm going to need for the entire year. Since I only keep the current month in my planner, a lot of times I will have notes from past months that I might need to reference back to. Having this notebook on me at all times means that I don't have to look back at a previous planner or one of my old months in order to find that information. I like to keep this little notebook stored at the very front of my planner so that I have it on me at all times. Tip number 2 is to add your top 3 to your planner and have everything else be a bonus. We have talked about this tip before in past videos where I have stated that you should always put your top 3 items at the top of your planner. But how do you know if a task is important? Well, here are some questions that you can ask yourself in order to decide if a task is truly important. The first question to ask yourself is this task related to your goals? Goal setting is a huge part of productivity. You only know if you're actually being productive based on the goals that you set. So if a specific task is going to help you get closer to that goal, then more than likely it is an important task and should be prioritized on your to-do list. The second question that you need to ask yourself is this a task that you've been thinking about for some time? If this is something that keeps popping up, that you keep thinking about, then odds are that you've been putting off something that is important to you, and your mind keeps telling you that it's important enough to make your list and for you to prioritize it. So make sure that you keep those things that you have been thinking about or that keep popping up at the top of your to-do list. And the third question that you need to ask yourself is, does this task have a deadline? There are certain tasks that we will never want to do, and we keep putting them off until the last minute. We're thinking about things like taxes. Even though you don't want to do your taxes, you may never feel like doing them. They are something that are super important that you need to prioritize. So add it to your top of your to-do list because you have a deadline and you'll be charged interest if you don't meet that deadline. Another way that I have increased my overall productivity with my planner is by scoring my week. I will give myself a grade for how many things I have gotten done throughout the course of a week. So how do I do this? I first start by adding up all of the tasks that I was supposed to complete for that week. For instance, in this particular week, I had 25 tasks that were in my top boxes. That becomes my denominator in this equation. I add them all up, and then I will add up how many I actually completed. Not how many I didn't do, but just how many I actually got done. And that's my numerator. I divide how many I got done by how many tasks I had, and then I will give myself an overall score. For this particular week, I had 20 tasks that I completed, 25 I was supposed to do, so it equals 80%. Anything over about 75% I consider a successful week. I love rating my productivity because it helps me analyze my week and lets me know if my week went well. If my week didn't go well, meaning that I got under 75%, then I am able to evaluate each day and see if something threw me off. Did I have an additional meeting that I was not planning? Did I get a phone call that threw off any particular days? What went wrong? For instance, in this week, my score was 57%, and that is extremely low for my overall usual score of over 75%, which means that I needed to evaluate this week and see what went wrong. I know that a majority of my days did not go as scheduled, and this just helps me to be able to plan a little bit better in the future. Tip number 4 is to add your weekly goals to your sidebar. I always tell you guys about how I add my next week to my sidebar so that I am able to keep track of the different things that's coming up next. Other thing that I started to do was to add my weekly goals to my sidebar as well. This way I can have the top 3 items that I want to complete for that week that's going to help me achieve my overall goals. For instance, I'm currently working on a course, and since I am working on this course, I have a bunch of little things that I need to do in order to achieve my bigger goal. Breaking those big things down into small little bite-sized chunks every single week helps me to make sure that I'm still on track in order to achieve my bigger goal. So guys, those are my tips for increasing productivity in your planner. I love doing these types of videos every time I try something new with my planner. Do you have any additional tips? Make sure that you leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.